G'day everybody, how you going? I just wanted to share a quick announcement about an upcoming debate that we will be hosting here on the channel on the papacy between an Eastern Orthodox monk and a Catholic. Really excited about this. Recently I had Eric Yabara, whose name I still feel like I mess up every time I say it, on the show, and we discussed Eastern Orthodoxy. Obviously I attend an Eastern Catholic church. Love my Eastern Orthodox brothers and sisters. Love their liturgies. There's so much about their spirituality that I find enriching in my own life and beautiful. But obviously there are things that separate Catholics and Eastern Orthodox that we should talk about in a charitable way that advances, the search for truth, which is hopefully what we're all about. One of the things I've tried to do on this channel is host debates between reputable presenters. We had that excellent debate. It was the first one we ever did between Trent Horn and Alex O'Connor. Alex being an atheist and having that excellent, well, I say excellent, I should say successful, I suppose, YouTube channel, Cosmic Skeptic. That was fantastic. We had Trent Horn again recently debating Steve Christie on the Deuterocanonical books, but again, Steve Christie is something of an expert on the issue, given that he wrote a book on it. We had Father Gregory Pine debate somebody from Real Atheology. So, obviously, you don't want to do this, right? You don't want to find, who's the strongest Catholic debater on this particular topic, and then go find some rando on YouTube or something who just wants a platform, but maybe they haven't really studied this issue at any length. And, if you would imagine, doing something like that, it would be really easy to make the Catholic position seem really strong and the opposing position seem really, really weak. But obviously that's an underhanded way to go about it. We don't want to do that. I'm just thinking of the other debate we did. Man, we've done several debates on the channel. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. We had Stephanie Gray, but we had her debate an actual abortionist who, was it Stanford he was teaching at? So, again, we're trying to find, equally skilled debaters. By the way, this is why I don't really do debates. I'm not good at them. I'm not really good at thinking on my feet, and, so that's why I don't do them. In case you were wondering. We actually reached out to James White several times now to see if he would do a debate with Jimmy Akin on Sola Scriptura. He hasn't replied at all to that. And then we also reached out to, what's his name? David Bentley Hart. We reached out to him recently and saw if he'd be willing to do a debate on universalism. He wrote back and said, no, there's nothing to debate. Sorry. So I'm like, well, that's one way to get around it, I suppose. Anyway, so very soon, I'd say probably next month, but I don't want to commit to a date yet. We're going to be hosting a debate between Eric Yabara and Father John Ramsey, who goes by the name of Father Patrick. And I think these guys both know their stuff, and it's going to be exciting to see a charitable exchange on the papacy. So let me just kind of give you a bit of background to each of them, just so you know where's my glasses? I'm going blind. You know who they are. You probably know a bit about Eric Yabara since he was on the show. He's a Latin Rite Catholic speaker and blogger, having graduated from the University of Central Florida with a BS. He currently works BS. I should know what that means, but I saw it and it just threw me off. A Bachelor of something, science, maybe? I don't know. You tell me. He currently works for a global manufacturer and technology. While entering university an atheist, he had an encounter with the Lord Jesus Christ through the Reformed Baptist tradition. After spending years as a Protestant, he crossed the horizon to high church Anglicanism, where he prayerfully studied the Bible and church history, leading to his conversion to the Catholic Church. He is a co-host of popular YouTube channel Reason and Theology and has made plenty of public appearances on Catholic social networks. He actually debated Jay Dyer on Reason and Theology, and I think just hands down held the day on that one. Maybe you have a different opinion, but I just thought, God bless Jay, clearly a really bright guy, but just came off as super insulting which is, I think, what a lot of people do when they start losing a debate. You just start like yelling at your opponent, calling them an idiot. But if you want to go check out that debate, it wasn't very well moderated. This one will be very well moderated, and no doubt the man who'll be debating Eric is an excellent man and a gentleman. So I'm sure there'll be no problem there. But anyway, Reason of Theology is the podcast. His writings specialize in Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy. They can be found at ericyabara.org. He is a husband and father of 5 children living in the upper Midwest. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check it out. Now, Father John Ramsey, God bless him, and lovely to have him. I'm excited to welcome him on the show, was born in 1970 in New Zealand. We won't hold that against him. He attended University of Waikato in Hamilton, New Zealand, completing bachelor degrees in science, majoring in mathematics, and in law with honours. He then completed a Masters of Theology and Orthodox Studies at the University of Wales in 2010, followed by a PhD in Orthodox Ecclesiology in 2015 at the University of Winchester, England. He presently works as a distance tutor for the Institute of Orthodox Christian Studies in Cambridge, England. He serves as a priest in the Western Rite Deanery in the UK under the Russian Church outside Russia. He has enjoyed engaging on Facebook discussions for a number of years after contributing to Orthodox blogs before this. So I'm really excited to host this debate between Father Patrick, formerly, I guess, John Ramsey. I think he took the name of Father Patrick either when he became a priest or a monk, and Eric Yabara. And the topic they will be debating, of course, will be the papacy. You know, I understand why people like debates, I think, because I enjoy them. I enjoy seeing a clash of ideas. You know, sometimes when you're watching shows on YouTube and you've got a couple of guests and the two are just agreeing with each other the whole time, you know, it's like, yeah, it's nice, but like, let's get to the thing. Let's get to the reason we're disagreeing. And that's why we host these debates. I try to stay out of the way as much as I can and be as balanced, which I think I've done a good job of doing. You know, not at all preferring one side to the other. At least, you know, obviously I have a dog in the fight, but I'm trying to be as objective as possible. But I think, you know, ultimately our goal is like, okay, we want to be obedient to God. You know, we want to know that he exists. We want to love him. We want to know how to love him. We want to know how to pray to him. We want to know what he has revealed to us so that we can be obedient to what he has revealed. These are all very important things that we as Christians ought to be very interested in. So, you know, whether you're a Protestant Christian, you're bloody welcome here. Lovely to have you. I often think, you know, here's an interesting way to put it, right? I think you would, like, Protestants, Orthodox, and Catholics would all say, okay, one day, like, God willing, we will be united, right? And obviously, every side would say that person needs to change this before we unite, right? Okay, fair enough. Everyone would say that. But I also think, like, we could say, well, what would we like them to keep? You know, like, suppose Orthodox and Catholics, please God, reunite one day. And I suspect they will, given that Christ prayed that we should be one, and that his prayers aren't, they're heard. They're going to be heard and answered. Okay, well, Orthodox would say, okay, Catholics, you need to drop this, you need to drop that, you need to change this. And Catholics would probably say something similar, right, in regards to Orthodoxy. But, you know, maybe one way to engage a discussion with somebody we disagree with in the Christian world is to say, what do I love about your tradition? Like, what do I see as valuable that would actually be an asset to my faith, you know? Like, I've met so many Protestant brothers and sisters who come into the Catholic Church and they've got this beautiful evangelical zeal, this love of the scriptures and Bible studies and a concern perhaps for the downtrodden or something. And you think, goodness, don't let that go because we need that. Like, we need you here, you know? Same thing with Orthodoxy. Like, I just love going to Orthodox churches, praying Vespers when I can. My wife and I used to live up the road from a Russian Orthodox church, and the priest, Father Eugene, which is a very, I guess, Western name, I suppose. I suppose there's a Russian equivalent to it. I'm not sure, but very beautiful guy, holy man, and just so welcoming to my wife and I. You know, they knew we were Catholic, but they were just so lovely, and so we'd come and we'd pray Vespers with them and things like this. And I just think we have a lot to learn as Catholics. I mean, if you look at a typical, you know, Western liturgy, Novus Ordo liturgy, I think it pales in comparison to the beauty and reverence that is shown in many or most Orthodox liturgies. There's a great deal that we can learn for sure. So anyway, I'm not sure if you knew this. This is really cool. But just as there are, Eastern Catholics, there are Western Orthodox. So I'm not sure if you know that or not. But just like I attend Divine Liturgy, and one of the primary differences, right, of course, is we pray for the Pope, and our Eastern brothers and sisters, Eastern Orthodox brothers and sisters pray for the Patriarch. But they're also Western Orthodox. That is to say, Orthodox who are not in union with Rome and yet celebrate the Latin Mass. You might want to go look that up, or if I can find it, I'll put a link below. That'll be fascinating to... Oh man, I'm excited about the day when the Lord brings us together. Anyway, so I'm very much looking forward to this discussion between Eric Yabara and Father Patrick, who, again, has his PhD, and Eric has studied this stuff a great deal. So I think it'll be a really substantive discussion. If you want to be sure that you don't miss it, please click subscribe and then click the bell button, and that way you'll be notified when we release it, or when we kind of schedule it. So you'll see it before the fact, so that you can join us. We'd love to have you. God bless. Glory to Jesus Christ.